everybody, and we are here again for a new episode of the Figure Out English podcast for English learners. The transcript will be available as usual on figureoutenglish.com, as well as the learning notes and practice exercises. And let's start! Last time we were talking about the structures with it and with the verb to be, using the weather as an example. I hope you listened to that episode. I would like to remind you that every English sentence should have a subject, answering the word who. Who makes the action? If you don't have it, you need to use an empty subject, it. So we say, it is hot, again using the weather as an example, it rains, or yesterday it snowed. It's not possible to say yesterday snowed. You still need the subject in the sentence. So you can say, it snowed yesterday, or yesterday it snowed, it doesn't matter. This it doesn't mean anything. And we don't usually translate it, but it makes our structure complete, and this is very important in English. And today let's learn 3 more everyday phrases using this empty it. The first phrase is, it depends. You can use it if somebody asks you a question and you want to say there are many options to the answer. For example, somebody asks me, what time do you get up? And I will say, it depends. Meaning I get up at a different time, sometimes at 8, sometimes at 9, sometimes at 10. And the phrase it depends is very handy here. There is a little problem because many people pronounce it in this way. They say it depends. Sometimes even without realizing it. From our first lessons of English, we remember this it's, and we don't skip it, but it's very, very important. You have a full verb here, depend. So this is the structure of it with the verb in the present simple tense, and you don't use is in the present simple tense. When you make this structure negative, it is even more clear. So you will say it doesn't depend. Again, no is, yeah, it's a regular present symbol. For example, I will say it doesn't depend on me. I want to show the object after the verb, so it doesn't depend on me. It is not my responsibility. And it's very important to remember that after depend, you always use the preposition on, not off. Let's have a look at more examples. What are you going to do tomorrow? It depends on the weather. And the question structure, of course, is a bit tricky because of this preposition at the end. So what does your decision depend on? When you have what, when you need to explain that object after on, so what does it depend on? So remember that it is not a structure with the verb to be. You have a full verb here, depend. It is an empty subject, it, which makes up your structure, and the verb in the present simple tense. Another one for today's lesson, it is it matters. You use it when you want to say something is important to you. For example, why are you so nervous about this exam? Does it matter to you? Yeah, is it important? Does it matter much to you? Yes, it matters a lot. My exam results matter a lot to me. So I show that I give a lot of importance to this fact. And again, normally you use an empty subject with the verb matter. So does it matter? Let's ask a question. Does it even matter to you what time I come to the office? Let's imagine that we have a conflict, for example. Why does it matter? So why is it important for you, yeah? No is, it's a regular present simple structure. Mostly in conversations, the structure with matter is used in a negative form. For example, where will we meet? It doesn't matter. Just name a place. It doesn't matter what he says. I don't trust his actions, for example. Also, again, a very handy phrase for everyday English. And let's have a look at one more. It's a bit trickier because it's usually translated in various ways, so it can't be translated directly into many languages. I'm talking about it takes. We use it when we want to say how long we will be doing some action. You can't just say, I do it for 30 minutes. if you talk about how long this action will be. Such structure doesn't exist in English, and we are trying to translate it from our languages where we have it, but it doesn't exist in English. If you want to show how long the action lasts, especially generally, you will use the structure with it takes. Let's look how it works. I use it, takes, then to whom. For example, it takes me. So I do this action for a certain time. Then I add the time period, and then I add the action with to. It takes me 20 minutes to get to the office in the morning. And there are no other ways to say this in English. You can skip to whom part. You can say, it takes an hour to finish this test. So this test is 1 hour long. You can add different adverbs, for example. It usually takes just 2 minutes to understand that. You can change the tenses, of course. You can say, it took me. Yeah, you change the present simple into past simple. It took me 5 hours to read the book. It usually takes me a couple of hours to read the book. I think it will take me it will take me a long time to read this book because this book is really thick. And let's ask a question using the structure. It's usually, how long does it take? Does it take? Again, you have the present simple structure with the empty subject it. How long does it take to get to the airport by train? Will it take me more than 30 minutes? And now you're good. You now know how to use 3 of the most popular and personal structures in English. Thanks for listening. Please visit figureoutenglish.com for a free download of the transcript and learning notes. Don't forget to share and comment. Cheers!